Okay, so we have a big breaking news coming out. Persia enriched uranium stockpile was mostly moved before U.S. carried out its airstrike. All right, so we did talk about this yesterday. Multiple sources are confirming that the material was moved. Look at this one here. The sleeping giant warns Iran, stay away from sites where nuclear uranium was stored. Photo and Isfahan are under close watch by the sleeping giant and the Holy Land. All right, so this is a bombshell report. Now, Holy Land source tells Al we know where Persia hides its enriched uranium. Most of it is buried under rubble. Wow. Okay, so this is a big breaking news here, guys. We're gonna get to all this news, and we talked about this one yesterday. You see these trucks? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's like 20, 25 trucks there. Satellite images reveal line of trucks at Fordo before strikes, suggesting uranium may have been removed before a strike. And I do believe there's a possibility the Red Dragon was involved in this one. Alright, guys, before I start, for those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida, 34691. Do me a favor, share the video. Again, thank you so much for your support. The more likes, the better. YouTube sees a lot of likes, and it actually shared the video to other people out there. And that's what we need. More likes if you can. Thank you again for your support. All right, so here we go. This is an update. New report reveals that Persia bombing only set nuclear program back 6 months, but not destroy it. All right. So they still have them. And that's the reason why there was no leak. There was no leak. There was nothing. According to a preliminary report by the Defense Intelligence Agencies, cited in the New York Times, the strike sealed off entrances to 2 facilities but did not collapse their underground structures. The report estimates that Persia's nuclear program was delayed by less than 6 months. A stark contrast to Donald's claims of total obliteration. Now, prior to the strike, U.S. intelligence assessed that Persia could produce a crude nuclear device in about 3 months. 3 months. If it chooses to rush towards weaponization. Post-strike estimates suggest this timeline has been extended only slightly. All right, so here's the thing. The place might have been obliterated, but the material is still well alive. Now, I do believe this material that survived, I do believe is going to be used in the future one day. Persia's apparent preemptive action was a key factor limiting the strike impact. Satellite imagery from Maxar Technologies, taken days before the U.S. strike, shows 16 cargo trucks, 16, that's the picture I just showed you, near photo entrances, suggesting Persia may have moved significant portion of its enriched uranium stockpile, estimated at over 400 kilograms of 60% enriched uranium, enough for multiple nuclear weapons if further refined. The Times reports that much of this stockpile remains intact, potentially relocated to convert sites, preserving Persia's ability to pursue a nuclear weapon relatively quickly if it decides to do so. The limited setback to Persia's nuclear program raises questions about the efficiency of military action and curbing Persia nuclear ambitions. Now, the Times note that Persia Iran nuclear program, deeply embedded in its national identity since the 1950s, has proven resilient to both physical and cyber strikes, such as the U.S. Holy Land Stuxnet Operation 2010, which temporarily disrupted Natanz but led to a more robust Persian program. Now, experts like the Rosemary Kalanick from Defense Priority warn that the strike may strengthen Persia resolve to pursue weaponization, potentially pushing it towards a North Korea scenario, where nuclear are seen as a survival mechanism. I do believe they got help for someone. And for those of you that don't know, way before Friday the 13th strike and all that, actually, no, it happened after Friday the 13th, but there were planes that came from China. I think there were like 2 or 3 planes. And once it reached Iran, like Persia, they turned off the transponder and they just, you couldn't find them on radar. So I do believe the Red Dragon might have gotten involved and helped Persia on this one here. Remember, guys, it was something similar to Pakistan too. Remember, the Red Dragon, I think the Red Dragon helped Pakistan get nukes or the uranium enrichment. Donald's assertion of success have been challenged by more cautious assessment from Sleeping Giant and the Holy Land military officials. General Kane emphasized that a final battle damage assessment is still pending, while the Holy Land official noted that Fordo sustained serious but not catastrophic damage. The Times also highlights concerns from the left, including Senator Chuck, who criticized the Commander-in-Chief administration for not consulting Congress before the strikes, underscoring the operation contingent's nature. Now, the strike have drawn mixed responses globally. Allies like Australia and the UK expressed support for preventing Persia from acquiring nuclear, but urged de-escalation, while Saudi Arabia and Qatar voiced dismay, citing regional stability concerns. The Red Dragon, China, the Red Dragon condemned the strike, citing harm to Sleeping Giant international credibility. Persia Foreign Minister Abbas called the strike a barbaric violation of international law, signaling Persia capital intent to retaliate potentially through asymmetric operation or strike on U.S. assets in the region. All right. So once again, Persia, excuse me, Persia still have those material. You see that picture on the left? That's a massive crater. That's the bunker buster right there. But a new report is coming out today, June 24, reveals that Persia bombing only set nuclear program back 6 months, but not destroyed. And this is something that is very concerning. Give me a second here, guys. So U.S. warned Persia, stay away from sites. Give me a second here. Let me see if I could pull up this information here. I want to see if I could pull up something here really quick. So yeah, again, it's the same information I just read to you. So you have multiple news outlets. Early U.S. intel assessments suggest strike on Persia did not, again, destroy the the facility. Did not destroy the uranium enrichment. Like I said, guys, if that was the case, there'd be radiation all over the place. Because Donald was publicity talking about striking Persia a week before it occurred, and people inside the administration were giving strike plans to the news. There is barely any OPSEC in the Sleeping Giant military during these important strike. We all knew the strike that would take place. We knew this was coming. Remember, guys, Donald, he kind of, and I told you guys, the loudest one in the room is like the weakest. I'm not saying Donald's weak, but Donald opened his mouth a lot. And so Persia knew that the U.S. were coming. They sent their stuff. They got the uranium enrichment out of there. And again, Donald said that he was going to strike them. You can't let your enemy know what's your next move. All right, give me a second here. I want to see if I can find any more information here, guys. Give me 1 second. I want to bring this one up. So you got everybody favorite news says the sleeping giant only hit surface buildings with 480,000 pounds of bunker buster, but experts say unlikely. So you have the news. Early intel report claims that the sleeping giant strike on Persia Fordo, the mountain, and Anton site only impacted surface buildings. That 16 GBU 57A/B massive ordnance penetrators, each weighing 30,000 pounds, 20.5 feet long, and engineered to defeat deeply buried hardened targets. These aren't just bombs, they're kinetic wrecking balls with a supersonic velocity, high sectional density, and a steel alloy causing design to stay intact while smashing through rock and concrete. Now each carries 5,300 pounds of high explosives. Man. But the real damage comes from momentum. On impact, the MOP can deliver more than 10 million joules of kinetic energy before a delay fuse detonates underground. They're built to breach 60 plus feet of 5,000 psi, reinforced concrete or 200 feet of densely packed earth, ideal for targets like Fordo, buried under 260 to 300 feet of mountain. Man, that's crazy. So the sleeping giant targeted the air shafts, tunnel nodes, and key pressure point, specifically the path that lead into centrifuge halls and cooling system. Post-strike satellite imagery shows crater formation, collapse, ventilation shafts, and altered terrain consistent with subterranean detonation and structural compromise. So no, this wasn't just a surface hit. Unless your definition of surface includes steel shredding, mountain piercing physics, driven demolition 200 feet below the ground. Other than that, guys, this is all the information here. But It's not looking good. Breaking news. Sleeping Giant strikes on Persia believed to have set back nuke program by 2 years. Actually, they're saying 3 months. So nobody knows the date. By 2 years. 2 years could go quick. Basically, by 2 years, it would be like 2.5 years, right? So Donald would still be president. Donald could send another bunker buster. Alright, guys, so this is all the information here. I will keep you updated on this news. Once again, big bombshell report. The equipment, the uranium enrichment, it's not completely destroyed. The material is out there. The facility is destroyed. This kind of reminds me of Final Fantasy VII. I don't know if you guys ever played that game when they destroyed the reactor and they were looking for the world material that could literally take out the asteroid that was heading towards Earth. But yeah, we are definitely seeing something here. Persia, they still have that material somewhere, and the U.S. warned Persia to stay away from that nuclear site. That's Persia territory. That's their country, and for the U.S. to actually have the nerve to say that, it's just completely wrong. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. For those of you that want to send us letters, a prayer request, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife Jessica Santiago at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida 34691. Once again guys, $5 a month Patreon. We get to access to our live stream once a week. We talk about things that we cannot talk about on the platform. Also, I posted videos today. Those links will be in the comments box. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you all. Put faith and trust in Jesus Christ. For He's the only way, the truth, and the life. No one gets to the Father except through Jesus. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time later. Peace.